Welcome all.
What a curse that intro is, because every time I start looking at the curse looking at the intro for new little bits that I hadn't seen, and I forget that's my time to share the podcast as I'm now I'm sharing real quick, I swear. There we go.
We're broadcasting, right?
Yes, we are broadcasting, I believe.
I'm doing okay, but even though I avoided you this weekend because you were all laid up and sick and stuff, today I'm starting to get a sore throat.
Oh no. I'll tell you,
I'm blaming you.
If you get what I got, it's probably going to start with a cough, and it will end with a cough, and you will cough the entire damn time. I'm still coughing, and it's been 2 weeks. I'm not doing too bad today. Yeah.
I shall not allow that to happen myself.
Yeah. I think you're going to be fine. I was by the time I got around you, I was pretty well, I'll say, over it. But
you were no longer contagious, one might say.
No longer contagious. I'm sure that's why Cookie's not here today too. He probably said, "I ain't going to get sick from that guy." So let's see. Let me get over here to chat, and we'll get started today. Studio chat. We're live stream chat. That's what I want, right?
Yeah, live stream chat.
There we go. All right, I'm on chat. Now I'm good. All right. Yeah, you guys, I did feel bad. You guys came over this weekend. You went out and got all the wine and everything bottled up for Ren Fair coming up in a week and a half. And then I went out there yesterday, and it was all clean and nice and swept up, and all the boxes were put away and everything. And I was like, motherfucker. So I need to not come out there and work more often.
I still need to come up. I'm probably going to come up this weekend and clean out everything so we can get the next batch started.
I need to finish
cleaned out.
The table, and I know this isn't podcast stuff, but those 2 buckets we got in front of the winery.
Yeah.
Were those for me to clean, or?
Yeah, you took them outside to clean.
Did I do that? Okay.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember. I saw them, and Christy says they need cleaned, and I was like, I can't even remember.
You're the one that took them outside, man.
Okay, that was me. Right, fair enough. So, well, as you guys can see, I'm upstairs today. Not that it's a big deal, but I figured a little bit of change. I would come up to where I normally do New Brew Thursday. And,
hey, Katie. Hey, Kelly.
Hey, guys. I figured I would just hang out up here today. I had no cookie. I didn't have a lot to talk about today. But even in coming up here, I've already found little goodies I was looking for because I haven't been in this room lately. And just as the intro was going, I found more of these dice. Last time we gamed, I don't know. Did I give you a set of these or?
You gave me a set, yeah.
Yeah, I bought so many of these for like $1 a piece at one of those pallet places. And now I've just been sitting all over the place. So.
Well, that's good. That's good because you got schmucks like me come up bumming dice. That's what you need them for.
I've been giving them away. So, yeah, I still can't find my big bag of dice. You know, the big bag that everybody has that they grew up with.
I cannot find my Crown Royal bag of dice either.
Yeah, I've got a nice big bag. I got a set that my aunt gave me in like 7th grade that she got from Hawaii that I thought was like somehow that made them better, you know? But in my older age now, I realize she just was on vacation when she bought me a present. But you know, since they're
doesn't
from Hawaii,
matter. There's a mystique to them. I mean, that dice bag I had that ever since Christ when I was in the Corps. I had those dice with me when I was in the Corps.
Yeah, make old man out of us.
Yeah.
Well, but dice are one of those things that will never go away. There are 10,000 dice goblins out there. You got any gaming, hell, any good Comic Con, and there's dice booths. And we live in a society now where dice shouldn't even exist. Like, we could just do it all with the roll.
As humans, we need that tactileness to it. All right, it's got the feel. You can roll it. You can play with it. Let's face it. You know, that and a clicky pen are some of our first fidget spinners.
Yeah, I was gonna say the clicky clacky sound. So I
Yeah,
looked on there and it just looked like I was telling you. Yeah, that's what I think of what you had to say. But
yeah, it's me.
uh, all right. Well, before we get into any subjects or anything today, because I didn't have a lot, but do you have any good geekasms this week, man?
Let me see. I've been playing around with a model I've been starting to print. This is the body of a Starship Enterprise TOS. That's the
Oh
size of
shoot,
just the body on it,
that looks about
and it's even got
12 inches, 10 inches.
like um, the shuttle bay in it and stuff like that. So that was cool. And plus, I've finally been getting off my butt, and this Enterprise C that I've been working on, I have finally started getting off my butt and doing the lighting. So that's what I was doing right before here was putting together the lighting for the inside of the saucer section, and I used the printer to print these stands so I can set the lighting up to go around in a circle here and angled just right so it blasts up and hits where all the windows are.
Oh,
And
that's.
this here you can see is where I didn't light block yet, and the windows are on the other side, so it'll come out the windows there.
Did you have to custom make those stands, or is that
Oh,
something
these stands, yeah, this was easy. I just did like a 20 millimeter by 10 millimeter rectangle, and I did it 0.4 millimeter thick, so two layers. And then I just cloned it and set it up, and then married the two together, and that was all it was.
yeah,
Print them off.
easy breezy? I like it.
Yeah.
Kelly says, John, you sound like you got allergies going on. Yet you missed the conversation we had right when we started. Uh, last week I was really sick on here. I've been fighting sickness for the last couple of weeks. I'm good now, but it's still there. I'm still just kind of and that I'm going to use that as my excuse as to why I didn't get a lot of news done this week. Because once I got healthy, it was get to work, get to work, get to work. So I didn't really have a lot of time to sit down and watch videos or research
Yeah.
anything. And we got festivals and cons coming up like crazy right now. So getting ready
Oh,
for
yeah.
planes. Because I was going to call Rich Cathy and have him on tonight to talk about Great Plains. Was my plan. But that will have to wait till after Ren Fair because he will be too busy next week. I guarantee it.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I
But
know
when
that I mean, just on the wine front, out there bottling this weekend, getting everything set up and, all the bottles ready. And we've got some product to sell.
we got
We
a
are
lot of
ready
product
for
to
it this
make
year.
up, that'll be good. And my plan is anything that doesn't sell, we're going to start loading and just go taking to liquor stores right after fair. Because then we got 6 months that we don't have to have product on a shelf yet. So I
Right.
think
And
game plan.
I plan the next weekend. You'll probably be busy starting to do festivals and stuff. I plan the next weekend starting up the next batches of stuff, getting it rolling.
Well, I could tell you, I could look even. I brought the calendar because we had a WAGs meeting this weekend. I have cut back some of my shows this year just to try to keep up. Um, I'm way behind. Um, the weekend after Great Plains, I'm open, and then the weekend after that, we have a show. But um, we have like 2 months this year where we don't have a show, so that's pretty nice. Like we're actually just gonna be home, and I can work on stuff and move
What
forward.
months are those?
One, believe it or not, is May, which normally we're booked all through May,
Yeah.
and we are no longer. We've decided not to do Sleepy Hollow Festival this year, which normally we do in May. Nothing against Sleepy Hollow; it's a great show. It's just it's family friendly now, and
And you guys are anything but family
yeah,
friendly.
I mean we can be, but it's just not near as much fun.
It's not as
So
and let's tell the truth too. It doesn't get the tips.
no, yeah, yeah, that's true. And then the other one is July, and that's by choice unless something pops up. Because another thing is we've gotten old, and being outside in July in full leather and everything, it takes a wear on us after a while. And
Hmm.
we can do July, but that's like the one that we normally, unless somebody comes after us for, we
Yeah.
don't go do it. I
And
think you were with us when we used to do the Boeing company picnic in July, didn't you?
no. No,
Oh
I
man,
intentionally avoided that because that was all just straight bopper stuff.
yeah, it was like sword fighting. We'd do like one 30-minute show, and the rest would be all sword fighting and stuff.
Yeah.
And oh god, we would die.
Yeah, you
And
would die, and those kids were just asses.
I've tried to
And
turn that show over to younger people too, and younger people look at me and go, "Fuck no," it's like it pays well, but it's yeah, no.
oh, Katie wants to know what our thoughts are on Val Kilmer passing, and what's our favorite movie that Val starred in.
Okay, that's actually easy, and I am sad about that.
I'm very sad.
Um,
That was this morning we found out he passed away from pneumonia, complications from his long battle with throat cancer.
right, and it's been nice to see him do the little cameo things and things like
Yeah,
that he's done lately. Uh, my favorite movie, Val Kilmer movie, and people will look at me sideways for this, but Real Genius. Um,
yeah, that
Val
is
Kilmer was
one of
Ryan
my two.
Reynolds before Ryan Reynolds was Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
Um, and he had a good comedy, Top Secrets, that kind of stuff. That stuff is what I kind of grew up liking, and then Batman, things like that later, great. Um, but
there's one other. I had a girlfriend who was a extreme fanatic of the band The Doors,
mhm.
and so she absolutely loved that movie. And I got to say, Val Kilmer did a great job in The Doors.
I'm horrible because I've never seen that movie all the way through. I've
Well,
seen bits and pieces.
yeah, it's a slog to get through the whole thing. And I tell you right now, it back in the day when I was watching it, it was much easier to sit all the way through with a lot of medication. Yeah, that made it a whole lot easier. But then again, at that point, I was taking so much medication that I thought that A Walk in the Clouds by Keanu Reeves
Yeah,
was a
Reeves.
good movie. That was
I
a
remember you
horrible movie.
mentioning that before.
Yeah.
Now the Val Kilmer thing, it's one of those things like you knew we weren't going to get anything. How do I want to say it? Like sometimes when an actor passes, you're like, oh, that's too bad. We're never going to get that sequel to or that another Batman cameo from him or something. I knew we weren't going to get that. So
Well,
it's
and
not.
we were never going to get Willow too.
Well, we kind of got it. We got that series, but Mad Mardigan didn't make a freaking. But damn
Yeah,
it, Willow was another good Val Kilmer movie too.
yeah.
Damn it. Yeah.
He was in some good movies.
He's in Heat. He was in tons of stuff. Hell, he
Yeah,
was even the bad guy in because he brought back his comedy chops for MacGruber. He came in as a bad guy in MacGruber. I remember that.
I
That was
haven't
awesome.
seen that one, but he was also the bad guy, and there was one where he was like an assassin. It was like like Gabriel, I think was the name of it or something.
Hmm.
Let me
Not
think
sure.
here.
Let's see. Kelly says Top Secret. I figured that'd be right up your alley. Kristen says no. Even if I do sometimes miss buffer or sword fighting, yeah, no on 4th of July. Uh, Tombstone. Damn it, that
Yeah, Tombstone.
Kristen's right. Nope, that is his best movie. Damn it, Real Genius is good.
That's his best part. I mean, he made that part. He made people want to have tuberculosis. That's how good he
Yeah.
did with that part.
But that whole movie was good because if you took Val Kilmer out of Real Genius, it might not have been a good movie at all. Um,
You're right.
but but Tombstone, even if Val Kilmer weren't in it, would still be good. But Val Kilmer was the best part of Tombstone.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, no, I give Kristen bonus points for that because that's where I feel on it. Then
I'm trying to see here. Oh yeah, and let's not even talk about the Isle of Dr. Moreau.
I would bring that up because I am a big Island of Dr. Moreau fan. But that particular version of it and all the
But that was all.
behind the
That was
scenes,
all him and Brando messing it all
right?
up.
Yeah, it ended up ruining that movie. I was very excited when that was coming out, and
I forgot that he was in Ghost in the Darkness too.
oh yeah, he was the main guy in Ghost in the Darkness.
Oh yeah, and the one where he was the Saint. That's the one where he was
Yeah,
the assassin.
right. That's right. Well, I don't know. A lot of people don't remember too
Hold
that
on.
the lions from Ghost in the Darkness forever. Those lions were here in Wichita for I don't know, like 30, 35 years. They were at our Sedgwick County Zoo on display. I don't know if anybody ever got to see those, but that was kind of neat.
Oh, that is cool. I hope they had a good life after that. I mean, as much as you can have in a Wichita Zoo.
I think they're well, they were taxidermies.
Oh
They
yeah,
were stuffed because they obviously didn't make it.
no,
I saw the movie. They didn't make it.
they, they did not find their Madagascar. Is that what you're saying?
They're in some national museum now or something. I think. Uh, see, the Wags, which I'm going to assume is Mac on the other side of that, says the favorite movie was The Saint. Kelly says Broken Arrow. No.
Broken Arrow is. I mean, there was a whole slew of movies at that time that they all looked the same. I mean, Broken Arrow, Face Off, all of those just, you know, of one, the unknown hero against his nemesis. It just.
I just don't remember him in Broken Arrow. I remember that was John Travolta and Christian Slater, right? Wasn't it or
Was he
not?
in Broken Arrow?
I don't know. Kelly said Broken Arrow, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, it's we can just sit here and talk about Val Kilmer movies for a while. Max says yeah. And see, I still haven't even seen the new Top Gun. I saw his cameo in it because I was curious about that, but
Yeah,
yeah,
it is a shame, but it's what are you gonna do? We all got to
yeah.
go sometimes.
We're gonna celebrate him. That's the way it goes. It's just like we still sit around all the time. We're doing it this week talking about Jim Henson, for example, and all the things that he was planning on making. Because I sat Christy down and we were going to watch the Happy Time Murders this week.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we got it started. She didn't make it through. She fell asleep, so I
yeah. It
didn't do it.
was not. The bad part about the Happy Time Murders is the best part of it was the trailer.
I I liked the Happy Time Murders. Of course, I had a nice memory with it when it came out, but I was so excited when it came out that we were on the road. We were in Iowa doing a Ren Fair, and I talked Jamie and Frankie into going to the movie that night. It's like as soon as the thing was over, we went and dropped the guys off the hotel, grabbed some food, went and watched the movie. So it was a good time. We had fun. Great. Uh, was it a letdown? Yeah, but
Well,
I still enjoyed
sometimes a
it.
movie, if you go into it expecting a certain amount of ridiculousness, you can enjoy it for what it is. I mean, when when Mystery Men came out, it was so universally panned when it came out at the theater that when I went to go watch it in the theater, I just went in expecting a bad movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. It was a good movie, for what it was.
Well, that's one of those movies. Again, that's oddly came up in conversation this week because Christy and I were talking about how good that was. Because the other movie we were going to go watch was Monkey Bone, and
Oh, I did not like that one.
I didn't know that came out at the exact same time as Mystery Men,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to have Ben Stiller starring in it, and he turned that movie down to go be in Mystery Men.
Oh,
So
that's a wise career choice, if you
yes,
ask me.
even though Mystery Men did not do well in theaters, he is very happy he took that decision. So I just thought
Oh
that was a
yeah.
neat little trivia.
I'm trying to think. What was another movie that I went into expect? Oh, there's several of them. I went into Team America expecting a bad movie and got a delightfully bad movie. Matter of fact, Zach and I were on a dive trip in Arkansas doing some God, what are those called? The old open strip mines that then they let flood and you dive into those.
Oh, you're diving there. Sorry, you're cutting out every about 5 seconds for half a sec there.
Well, you're cutting out really bad too.
Huh.
Um, yeah, it was we were scuba diving into strip mines in Arkansas, and we went to go see that evening. We went and saw Team America, and let me tell you, we were the only two in the theater laughing our asses off at that movie. That did not
Sometimes,
play well in the red seats.
even if you're the only person in the theater, it's I, some of my favorite movies are horrible bad movies. I get that.
Oh yeah,
And Team
yeah.
America is one of those cult classic ones. I'll take it in a heartbeat. Matter of fact, most of the movies I get excited for now that come out, I look at because they're a cheesy, like, not something that we'll be watching a trailer and Christy just looks at me and goes, yeah, you can watch out without me, and we're good. Because they're just shit movies. But
See, that, going back to what we were talking about last week about, how the rise of, this AI stuff is going to really change a lot of the landscape when it comes to the studios. Right now, the studios, they're all about the big money, and they're really not willing to take the chances to make something that is 95% sure is just going to be utter ass. I mean, they are never going to remake Killer Clowns from Outer Space. All right? They have talked about it, but it's
they've
never
talked
come to
about it.
pass. Yeah, it's never come to pass. Even though, but the thing was, is that the original one, none of them wanted to touch it. All right?
Yeah.
And that's the way it is now. Is right now, they don't want to touch anything unless they're guaranteed money. That's the reason that they're owning these IPs, these intellectual properties, and not utilizing the full expanse of these properties. They're only going off the things that they know will trigger that nostalgia dollar. All right,
Well, and I think.
and
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I
Oh,
was going to say. Oh, go ahead.
and so the point is that with all this new stuff that's coming out and the new abilities that people are going to be able to have to do things, and the platforms like the YouTubes and stuff like that to be able to present it on, I think we're going to start seeing a resurgence. One might say a silver age of B movies are going to start to come out because people are going to start making their own stuff that nobody else will touch.
I agree with that because I actually had something else I was going to say, but on that vein, there's like watching the whatever not Omegle Umleto or something. I can't remember what it's called. There's a series on YouTube I watch, and they usually do like sci-fi and horror deals. And they've been starting. It's mostly students, independent filmmakers, and that make this stuff, and then they distribute it.
Right.
Uh, I I've been seeing a lot more AI stuff in there, like AI animation. I watched one today about some aliens just having dinner and stuff, but it wasn't written AI or anything, but they used AI for the animation of it.
Oh yeah.
And and it looked great. I mean, you could look at it and you go, "Yeah, I see it there, or I see it there," or you know. And they did
But
one flash scene where it was just like showed all the alternate versions that the AI came up with for this character, which was neat. But
But if
I
they
think
if they just
people,
start using the AI to make the CGI that they can't
right,
afford to make, all
right.
right, and that's one of the things that they're talking about is the fact that the AI is going to be replacing a lot of the CGI company stuff, and a lot quicker too, because a lot of these CGI things that they put together, it takes them a long time in order to completely do out one battle where you can have that done in just a couple days with one person and an AI generator.
I'm going to address these. Kristen says, "Oh, I love Monkey Bone," and I do like Monkey Bone. I think it's one of those that got screwed because the studio shit on it. Like it, if they would have just let it be a movie for adults, and the studio didn't try to come in and kid friendly it would have been a good movie. Max is Dead Alive, which was a great movie. Um, and then Kelly said, "Do you see the trailer for the new Toxic Avenger?" I have.
Isn't that got what's his name in it?
Dinklage.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage.
What's his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Peter Dinklage is actually playing the Toxic Avenger in it, and it's got my mind's going blank. Dude from Lord of the Rings played Frodo. Um,
Played Frodo. Elijah Woods.
yeah, Elijah Woods is in it as well. I know, and it's one of those that I was excited when they were making it because I like the old Toxic Avenger, as bad and horrible as it is, but it's got that stupid nostalgia from childhood and stuff.
Oh
The
yeah.
new the new one, I everything behind the scenes, and it almost didn't get released. It got shelved. There's a whole bunch of politics behind it, but they decided to release it now, and now they're actually showing us like pictures of Toxie, and it looks bad to me. I mean, I get that you can make him look cheesy and stuff, and you got a Peter Dinklage playing him now, but it looks like some art students in college made the outfit.
And keep in mind, you're dealing with somebody of the caliber of Dinklage or Woods.
Right.
These are guys that
They can
could,
act.
that can act, and also if they wanted to, they could pull all kinds of strings to have all kinds of stuff done. All right, and you don't, as Peter Dinklage, just don't go into a toxic Avenger role. All right, without having some love of it. All
Yeah.
right. And so I am willing to bet that this is one of those times that they intentionally made a bad movie, kind of like Army
They
of Darkness.
they were intentionally going for a bad movie. I know that. And Elijah Wood, he does that shit all the time. Um,
But
and that's what
somehow he makes it great.
he does. He does, and he is. I'll give him credit, man. That kid can act.
Him and Daniel, whatever the hell his name is, that played Harry
Daniel
Potter.
Radcliffe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 They've made their money. Now they don't have to worry about anything, and they can just make things that they're passionate about, and
Well,
it really shows.
both of them had roles to break away from Harry Potter and
Oh yeah.
Frodo, and they really had to. So, but they were, like you said, they already had their money, so they could kind of go like, oh, I can do this cool artsy project or this cool that I think is funny, um, and I think that's cool. That's great. Same shit Bruce Campbell did too, though, and it didn't quite work out for him. But he also became, king of the B actors for that shit.
Oh yeah.
Um, sorry, checking our thing over there. Damn it! Every time I go to read the comments, it's something pops up. Damn it! Oh,
Oh yeah,
well,
I'm the one doing that, making them pop up on the screen.
Dinklage is picky about his role. Yeah, and he's got enough money too now. I think he's going to be a little more picky, even though he took on playing Toxie before all this Snow White shit hit him. Uh, but I know he's got a little bit of a bad rap right now, especially right now with as bad as Snow White's doing, because everybody keeps putting his name in their mouth from because they blame him for the no dwarves being in Snow White, and he's not the one to blame.
No, he's
But
not. I wouldn't ever think that.
well, he did come out and say that it was bad and backwards of Disney to do that shit, and but by the time he said that, Disney had already decided to not go with even CGI dwarves at the time. They weren't even going dwarves at all. I think they had one dwarf in the whole movie, and so I think at that point, what Disney did is they knew everybody was at Snow White, so they said, "Oh, let's blame it on Dinklage and let's blame it on Zellweger, fucking what's her name, Ziegler,
Ziegler,
and
yeah.
let's just blame it all on them." And not that they don't have any blame in it, but man, I think everybody came at them hard. So, like, I haven't seen Dinklage take on a new role since Brothers. Maybe
I don't know.
it's been good year, I
You
think.
know what? I'm thinking he's the right age. Pair him up with The Rock and make twins too.
Well, that's what I think Brothers was supposed to be.
I didn't
Uh,
see Brothers.
it just came out recently, a couple months ago. But I think it was supposed to be Twins 2 because they were working on Twins 2, and it was going to be Momoa and Dinklage originally. And then something rights or something, I don't know, a bunch of behind the scenes shit happened. And then they said that they were doing, they got a new script for it, and Dinklage was out and everything, and it was going to be a sequel. So now the new Twins is going to be Schwarzenegger, DeVito, and I think fucking what's his name from 30 Rock and Tracy Morgan. I think Tracy Morgan now.
Okay.
Yeah, but I could have seen Dinklage and Momoa in Twins. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it would have been fun. I mean, no more than DeVito and Schwarzenegger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're just a modern take on that. But I don't know. Real
But
dwarf. Oh,
nowadays you wouldn't say that it was a scientist thing that happened. When they combined all the DNA, it would have been more along the lines of, well, your mother had an OnlyFans page, right? And she was going for views.
oh, I bet in 10 years we're gonna be seeing movies and shit like that too.
I
Because
know.
I
No,
mean, the
but
only thing that's going to be around, but it
the
won't
thing
be.
is, I'm already seeing. I mean, just with what's available, not even with AI, just what's available, on computers now that you can go ahead and do your own CGIs and stuff like that, and with the different programs. Um, I am already seeing on YouTube people who are making their own films, and some of them are like full on as much as they can of some larger properties. It's almost like a fanfic, but without the sex, and and they're doing really damn good. I mean, a lot of getting a lot of praise from the fan communities on what they're doing.
I
Hey,
was
Catherine.
I was talking to Christy about this a little bit on that YouTube channel doing the AI. And years ago, I was in a steampunk movie where a guy had done all these awesome special effects. We went out and filmed on a green screen in Missouri, I think it was, and uh, then it got released in segments on YouTube because he couldn't get a distributor for it, so they released it in segments on YouTube. And I kept going, man, I never did like share that properly. I shared it a couple times. So I was kind of waiting on the whole thing to come out, and then uh and I've just been sitting on that damn thing for a while, and then now going back and looking at it compared to the stuff I saw today, because that was part of I saw scenes that remind me of it. The stuff I can just hop on and prompt looks better than the shit that poor guy sat and worked for like 3 years on
Oh yeah.
and developed this movie. And this wasn't terrible long ago, but it's just like, man, that was like for him, that was kind of like his resume for special effects in Hollywood and stuff, and everything he put together now. And I love it. No criticism to him; he did a great job, but doesn't look near as good as the stuff that I can create right now.
But with his eye and his his skills, if he were to go ahead and then you know garner the AI skills to be a good prompter, the product that he would be able to bring out, because some of the best looking like imagery that I've seen out there with this new open AI imagery model that they have, I've gone in and seen some imagery that people have come out with some astounding lifelike, just beautiful lifelike stuff, and they put their prompt there. All right, so you can check out their prompt. Man, what they go through is not just, hey, make this. It's like,
Right.
okay, and it needs to be like it's shot on this kind of camera with this kind of film using this lens and da 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 da. I mean, their actual knowledge of what it takes to get that view and to get that shot, that's what makes that image. It's not just saying, make me a pretty blonde in a red dress. You got to be able to get all that stuff in there.
I definitely get that, and even be able to keep the consistency throughout and stuff. Because I know the longer, like if you want to make a 30-minute episode compared to a 4-minute episode, of course it's more work. But trying to keep that consistency and stuff, it's just not as
That's
easy with AI.
one of the big things that they're working on with it is the continuity. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's a big thing because, as you know, from one prompt to the next, it's going to change. And if you're sitting there going, okay, I liked it, but can you move that ashtray from this side to this side? Yeah, the ashtray gets moved, but then then all of a sudden your main character is Sasquatch. When the fuck
yeah,
did this happen?
yeah. That kind of stuff would bother me. I say like I could sit here and do it, but I'm not going to pretend like I can because I haven't done near enough stuff. Most of the stuff I've worked with is still objects and things like that. Or this looks neat. Let me try it once or twice, and then you do like it's a video game or a toy and walk away. But I've seen two comments from Newcomb High now, and I feel like I'm gonna have to cut a corner off my geek card because I know Newcomb High. It's been so long. I'm
Class of
sitting.
Newcomb High? Oh yeah.
Was Robert Downey Jr. in Newcomb High? Because right now, visualizing it, I remember him in it.
No,
But
I think you're thinking back to school.
maybe no. I remember back to school, yeah, but that's not what I'm thinking of. Man, I'm gonna have to look that up now. That's gonna drive me nuts. But well, I didn't mean you had to jump on and look it up. But
Class of Newcomb High cast. No, I'm not seeing him anywhere in there.
okay, then I'm getting my movies mixed up. But
Yeah,
I
because he
need,
was in Back to School with
yeah,
Rodney Dangerfield.
right. And there was another one that he was in his early days like that. That was a high school one, but it was so low budget. It was so bad, but I just can't remember. I mean, he was in a lot of bad stuff when he was young. Saturday Night Live, good example.
Oh
So
yeah.
I I love SNL, but God, with the 50th anniversary lately, I've been watching a lot more of it because it just comes across my feed a lot. And, oh,
Let me see.
they
He
got
was
some
in
good stuff.
Up the Academy,
It's not what I'm thinking of, but of
Weird Science, of course.
course, yeah.
Uh, Back to School, Rented Lips, True Believer. Man, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, he's been in tons of stuff. Um, his best movie though, well, besides Iron Man, of course, Chaplin. Man, I don't know
Well,
if you
oh
ever seen
yeah,
Chaplin.
Chaplin.
He was good in Chaplin.
Yeah, they've already got him marked as Doctor Victor Von Doom in the
Mm-hmm.
Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, yeah,
Matter of
and he's
fact, they
supposed
have
to.
him in two of them. One coming out, Fantastic Four First Steps. He's going to be Victor Von Doom in that, and also in Avengers Doomsday.
Yeah, it sounded like he's just going to be doing a cameo at the end of the Fantastic Fours, the way it's sounding, but who knows? I mean, things that with the Avengers stuff is getting rewritten constantly. Matter of fact, that's something I could probably sit here for the hour and just talk Avengers, or not Avengers, but Marvel movie news. But like I've said on here before, it's almost no fun talking about because it'll change by next week.
Oh yeah,
Or yeah, I mean, they're changing shit so quick anymore. It's not about, hey, we're keeping this secret until we're ready to release it. It's let's throw this out there and see what people think and see if everybody's going to come at us. Oh no, okay,
it,
now let's throw this out there and see if everybody's coming at us.
yeah,
It
and
makes
that's the
no
thing is I'm already seeing that too because I've skipped right over videos that have presented themselves on my YouTube timeline. You know, is with this latest release of who's in the in the next movie, who we don't like and who we think is bad. I'm like, dude, you haven't even seen it yet. You don't know how well they're gonna do.
Well, like we watched that trailer last week where it went through
Well,
the
yeah, that one, yeah,
and I was getting excited. I'm like, oh, Alan Cummins and shit, and I'm like, I'm
yeah.
pumped. And I thought that trailer was good. And I feel like I can say that from a background of like this shit is I've been a fan for a long time, hardcore. It's not like I'm a casual fan. So I feel like it's a informed opinion.
Megan
And
says hi.
all hi Meg. All week I've been told I was wrong for liking that damn trailer by YouTube videos and everything because everything's coming out saying, oh, they shouldn't have cast this, and oh, look who's not in the movie, and everybody's throwing big fits, and I'm like, I bet there's going to be some actors in that movie that they didn't show chairs for,
Well,
and
and that's one of the things that I want because you heard me complain ad nauseum about how they ruin movies by giving too much away in the trailer.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
and for me, the high point, the one that I'll always point out that they did that so horribly was
Terminator.
no, it was
Oh,
Thor Ragnarok
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. With
because
Hulk.
you could tell by the way they built everything up in the movie that Hulk was supposed to be a surprise, but they
Yeah,
released it right in the trailer.
yeah, I can see that one. The other big one was Terminator Salvation for me, where
Uh,
they just showed you right in the trailer, John Connor's a Terminator now. It's like
yeah.
that was the twist of the whole fucking movie, and you just showed us in the trailer, and it gave me like there was nothing to look forward to except for hoping that there might be a Schwarzenegger cameo or something, and then we got kind of a half-ass, but it just I don't know. I hate it when they do that shit, and right now Marvel, I think everything they're doing is it's almost like politics. They're they release something just enough to see like nothing official, just to see what everybody thinks about it and see if everybody's going to get pissed off or not about it. And then if people get pissed off, depending on who does it and in what way, depends on whether they're going to tell you that you're all wrong for thinking that,
Mm.
or if they're like, oh no, we were never thinking that in the first place. We're changing it.
Oh no, we did that. We did that to mess with you, so you wouldn't know what was really going to happen. Yeah, right.
Um, Kenneth says, I think you're thinking of the party scene in Weird Science. It's definitely not Weird Science I'm thinking of. Damn it, I'm gonna look this shit up now here as we're talking. But it's some high school movie Robert Downey Jr. was in.
The
God, I should know it because it was in that documentary.
Johnny Be
Bratz,
Good?
huh?
Johnny Be Good?
No, not Johnny Be Good. That was another rough movie though. But that one had what's his name in it?
Yeah, it had
Anthony Michael Hall.
yeah, him.
And I just saw last night. I finished binge watching Reacher season 3, and Anthony Michael Hall was in that. And
I just found out yesterday that the guy who plays in Reacher was the guy from Blue Mountain State.
I the TV show, or wasn't that a movie too?
No, that was a TV show, Blue Mountain State,
I never
with the
watched.
football players in college.
I never watched that TV show. I know about it, but
It is. I've only caught bits and pieces, and his part in that is hilarious.
now I'm gonna have to look at because I didn't know who that actor was until I started watching Reacher, and I'm like, this guy needs to be in the Marvel universe for one. But
I hear that there is some talk of him being at least in the DC universe.
I could see him being really good in that stuff. I like him as a character. I will say, not that I want to talk about Reacher a bunch, but this third season, you could definitely tell some of the writing was different from the first 2 seasons. Um, so that was it had some cringe in it, but the actor, love him. All right, now I'm looking through this Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah, I'm already up to 95 when he's too old to play high school, and I don't see anything besides the ones I told you about.
Damn it. Whatever I'm thinking of was in that Bratz documentary, but I will not find it, and then I'll just have to finally go. I guess it was probably just fucking. Uh,
The 2024 movie?
no, this would have been. This
No,
would have been
no, I'm
way.
saying that's the movie Bratz.
Oh yeah. It would have just been a casual mention in the movie. It wouldn't have been like
Okay.
it was a deal. So, all right, boy, he's been a lot of stuff I've never heard of. He was in Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Oh. Yeah,
Yeah, that Bratz movie. Those what do they call them? You know, that not
the Brat Pack.
the Brat Pack. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, we all had
yeah.
a thing for Molly Ringwald.
Well, it's one of those. The whole reason I went to the Brat Pack movie was Christy and I kept trying to decide who all was officially in the Brat Pack. Like everybody
Right.
in the club was St. Elmo's Fire, but then like was Robert Downey Jr. part of the Brat Pack or not? That kind of stuff. So then you're trying to watch, and it seems like there's a lot of leeway in there for that. Um, it wasn't Lesson Zero because I remember Lesson Zero. He creeped me out in that movie. Something about looking up from between two guys' thighs, just as a kid, weirded me out.
Reminded you of Scout Camp? What?
Remind me a little bit, yeah. Um, man, yeah, I'm just not seeing it, so I might just be wrong altogether because it would have been before Natural Born Killers.
Yeah,
So,
definitely before that. That
oh
was
well.
my girlfriend at the time was inordinately infatuated with that movie. It's one of the
Natural,
things that made me realize maybe she's not the one.
I think Natural Born Killers. I could be wrong if anybody knows. I think that was one of the first movies that got sued for influencing either a crime or murder. Can't remember because somebody killed somebody, went on a spree and blamed it on Natural Born Killers, and so they sued the studio off of it. I could be wrong on that one though.
Well, let me see if
Uh,
there's anything in the let me see casting, visual style, criticisms, accolades. No, controversies, copycat crimes. From almost the moment of its release, the film has been accused of encouraging and inspiring numerous murders in North America, including the perpetrators of the '97 Heath High School shooting and the Columbine High School massacre. Um, the Columbine killers even codenamed their attack NBK, initialisms for natural born killers. Didn't say they were sued, though.
Yeah, and I could be wrong on that one, but I mean, you'd think surely somebody would have gotten sued before for that stuff beforehand. I mean, I remember growing up and getting told every TV show and every movie and every comic book I read, and especially every role playing game I played, was going to influence me down a bad path.
And look at you now,
And look at me now; I'm sitting in a room
sitting
surrounded by
with a Wolverine
comic
poster
books.
behind you and 50 years old talking about comic book crap. I don't think we've done well.
Yeah, I think I should have fucking been watching more porn and stuff because I'm looking at some of the shit I had when I was back a kid back then.
I found out that those sports ball people really like it when you point out the fact that if they wear a team uniform, they're cosplaying for sports. They don't like that.
Yeah, yeah, it's become so cross. I don't want to say cross contaminated now, but
I
it's
save that retrospective for the people who start to give me crap for my nerdism.
oh that yeah, I can see that. I used to get a lot of crap for my nerdism when I was young. I was definitely one of those kids. Hell, even a lot of my friends would give me shit because a lot of my friends played role playing games and collected comics. I was just a little more into it than they were,
Right.
and and I remember getting shit in school. I remember a lot of that stuff, but that's all kind of gone away now. Like now, it's you can be a guy that goes out, shoots guns, plays football, and collects comic books. It's not a unheard of thing. It's just if you're one of those weird ones that dresses up and goes to all the conventions all the time or something.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
us.
yeah, you had to go to church camp for playing D&D. I again today this got brought up in conversation. I can't remember what we were watching on TV. Oh, because in Australia they are getting away of they're pulling most of ball sports out of schools. So like during recess, you can't play soccer or kickball or dodgeball anymore
Or
because too many kids
rugby,
can
or
touch all.
what about baseball?
And well, I don't know. They didn't say what all. I don't know how big or baseball is in Australia, but as I was watching, I looked at Christy. And I said, "It's weird because when I was a kid, we would go roll up characters and work on adventures and stuff during recess. So, and we got told we could no longer do that
Yeah.
because it was bad. It was a bad influence. We had to be outside and we had to be out playing and stuff. And I'm like, now they're telling you you can't be outside playing. And with D&D and stuff, it would hell when I was young, not in any of my schools, but they would use Dungeons and Dragons in the advanced education classes for the kids. And then I don't know about 80,
Well,
late 80s, that all went away.
hell, there's therapists that use role playing games for therapy.
Yeah,
There's whole therapy groups with it. Yeah. I
my,
mean,
my therapist used video games for some kids, not for me.
no, damn it.
But yeah, I
Why
know.
not?
He has used comic books though for me. Like I've had stuff where he goes like, "I want you to think of a comic book character that represents you in past, present, future," or "I
Oh,
want you to
really? I
draw."
thought he was going to go show me on this page where the bad man touched you.
No, we could probably do that 3D prints too though, because I'll go into therapy and he prints, and we'll start talking
Yeah.
3D printing, and he'll be like, "On this print here, I'm having this problem," and I'm like, "Yeah, I had that problem too." So yeah. I'd say I shouldn't get billed for the first 10 minutes of every therapy session because it's all just nerd talk for 10 minutes. Uh, let's see. Fantasy football is just D&D for guys who used to beat up the D&D kids. Yeah, we actually looked at a church camp a long time ago for D&D. It wasn't me, but I may have told this story on here before. Um,
Well, is it a very fun session if everybody has to be a paladin?
at church camp. No, no, you don't get to play D&D at church camp. No, my parents had got worried that we were playing too much, and I'd already got most of my D&D stuff kind of taken away, which just got me into Palladium and other stuff. But my brother Tim, since he was older, he still got to play, and it wasn't just like there was tons of people. So there were some new people in Newton that had reached out to my parents because they had my parents owned stores and shit. Anyhow, so they come in and they say, "Hey, I hear your kids play Dungeons and Dragons. We're looking for a group to game with." So they let Tim go to these people's house to play Dungeons and Dragons. And about me though, I was too young. And the night, and this is no shit, the night Tim was supposed to go over there, it was right over here by Sonic, over on like 11th Street. The night Tim was supposed to go over there, a couple hours before he was supposed to go over there, they found both of those people murdered in their house. And it became like a huge fucking thing all over the news and all this shit. And because they were going to play Dungeons and Dragons with Tim that night, of course, Tim gets interviewed and all that shit. And at that point, my parents are thinking Dungeons and Dragons is bad. And you guys, now it's not like they got murdered and they, like their stats were written on the wall in blood or nothing. It had nothing to do with it, but it just was coincidental. So it,
Instead of red rum, it says I rolled a 1.
I don't, I shouldn't be joking about it, but that was, I don't know, 40 years ago or something. But
Yeah.
I know at that point my parents were talking about, just all sorts of shit, getting us counseling. About that time's when everything was starting to hit the fan,
Mm-hmm.
But we all just went different ways and played different shit. So
Yeah.
I can't compete too much because here I am now. I'm in my 50s, and I'll be honest, I just don't like playing D&D much anymore.
It's one of those things that now we've got so many things going, we never have the time to actually play. I mean, remember back when we were in our 20s, we would do an entire freaking weekend.
Yeah,
Screw sleep. We'll sleep when we're dead. And we would go whole weekends, just a complete campaign from Friday night to Sunday night.
I remember times like Saturday morning, somebody would get up and go, I got to go to the restaurant and work for 8 hours. I'll see you guys. And then they would come back and we'd all still be sitting on the couches playing 8 hours. And we'd already been playing for, 12 hours that night. And
I
um,
think I think Ken here is talking about the one with God, what's his
oh,
name from?
what was the movie where the role playing game became the murderer? Oh, are you talking the Tom Hanks ones?
Yeah, Tom
Monsters and
Hanks.
Mazes?
Yeah, I think that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, Monsters and Mazes came out, I think, about 86, I want to say.
Yeah,
Maybe
it was
87.
at the height of that 700 Club crap.
Yeah. And yeah, that was a horrible, horrible movie. God, and there really up until recent years, I'd say any time from that movie up until even recent, like watching fucking Riverdale is a great example. If they play Dungeons and Dragons in anything that is not a comedy, like if they play it in Big Bang, sure, looks great. Still
Yeah,
not the way you play Dungeons and Dragons, but still great. They play it in like Riverdale. You go, I just challenge you to go watch any drama show where they play Dungeons and Dragons, and it is always this like somebody gets too caught up in the game, and everybody always dresses up to go play, and they sit there and they talk in accent the whole time, and they're sitting there while they're rolling their dice holding their big fucking trident staff or some shit, and all this shit that doesn't happen in real life.
yeah. At
uh
no point did somebody plump down some Funyuns and some Mountain Dew. All right.
yeah, yeah. I would say Stranger Things had it the most realistic of how Dungeons and Dragons is.
No,
But
I disagree. I want to take you back even further. E.T.
now, yeah, I do remember ET, and that definitely had that feel. But that was also that came out when everybody was playing Dungeons and
Yep,
Dragons at their kitchen
that's
table.
back when you had the red box.
Yeah, so that was just kind of I don't think I think that was before we had the scare. I'm pretty
It
sure.
was before the scare, and it was before it was just nerds. I mean, and
Yeah,
that being said, it was also right before video games. Home consoles really took off.
yeah,
So people didn't have a lot to do, and that's the reason RPGs first came out was because there was you know 3/4 of the homes didn't have cable. People were still messing with rabbit ears on their TVs, and there was no internet, and people didn't have video games. So yeah, everybody would sit around with their friends and play games. It's not like, you know, one of the things that just irritates the crap out of me is, I keep telling Gannon to go outside and play, go out and do stuff, but he can't. There's nobody to go do with because everybody is cloistered in their houses. I mean, they all meet each other up online and game together online, but to actually do something in person. And I've heard horror stories of parents getting, having the CPS on them because they had their kid outside in the front yard playing.
See, I feel like I can't criticize it too much because you and I are using technology to just get together and talk once a week right now. But I I feel that way with the kids too. There's just not as much to do, and gaming does seem a little bit like you're getting together in a dark room and closing off the outside. So I could see somebody who hasn't gamed. That's what they're gonna portray it as. Like,
Right.
oh, gonna come up and sit at a table. That's like there's no action. There's no like constant stimulation. So I can see how people wouldn't want to get into it. But man, I don't know. That was our big thing forever, was just gaming, and even now, like I say, I don't like playing D&D. I still love gaming. I'll still game now. I just
See,
D&D
I
became
truly believe that
yeah.
the downfall of RPGs came about with Magic the Gathering.
I was going to talk about that today. I have some here too. Uh,
I do not like Magic the Gathering. I tried it when it came out, and I quickly realized that it was pay to win.
it That's why I stopped playing it.
Yeah,
I started playing. My buddy Keto brought us down some alphas because originally you couldn't get Magic here in Kansas because we're fucking Kansas. We don't get anything good.
yeah,
Um, so I had like all the original cards when nobody had it here. So we were going from game shop to game shop doing outwriting for them and demoing the game. So then those game shops would then buy Magic from the distributor. And we did that for a while and I loved it. And I still have tons of great cards. But then it got to where it was pay to play. And that's when Frankie got involved. I wasn't friends with Frankie, but like him and his dad, they were definitely the guys that would like show up with like 4 or 5 briefcases full of
yeah.
cards. And that pulled me out of it terribly to where I was very bitter about Magic. And then my boy started playing. So I gave him 90% of my old cards. I kept just the really valuable ones.
Yeah.
And then I sat down to play with the boys a couple times and I enjoyed it. And I was like, oh, I gave away all my cards except for my valuable ones. And my valuable ones, just to give you an idea, like today I sat down and decided to
Whoa,
put
whoa,
a
whoa, whoa, whoa. People have been getting broken into and everything for these cards.
shouldn't
So
shouldn't say what they're worth.
yeah, maybe you should just shut your pie hole.
They're yeah, okay, cool. Fair enough.
Yeah,
They're enough I don't want to play with them, we'll say that. Um
it's
so
like
Gabe and Diego for my birthday went and bought me a set of Doctor Who Magic cards for a commander deck.
yeah,
And the beauty of this is all you need, just this for a commander deck. You don't need to buy any others.
that is
And so
better.
you're like, there you go. Now you can play with us and you don't have to go buy a bunch of cards or anything. And just when you're ready, you pull that out and we're good and you don't need anything else. And I've actually enjoyed playing Magic lately now.
Well,
Um,
that's good. Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, all the way from the beginning. I was playing it. I guess when it first came to Kansas back in the early mid
In the
'90s.
90s. Yep.
Yeah, it was like '93 or so, or something like that. And
Yep. About that, maybe.
and I remember just sitting there playing, and I was just like, okay, so how do I get these cards? I got to buy these packs, and immediately it seemed like gambling to me. All right.
Yeah.
And so there was a whole gambling side of it. Do you get good stuff? Oh, I got repeats and copies. Oh, so maybe I should. I'm like, no, I don't. I want to. And then it just, oh, how did you get that really good card? Oh, I had to pay money, and then I'm out. And then the thing happened with Mount Goth, and I'm out of it because that happened with Bitcoin back in 2011, 2012.
Mount Goth.
Okay, so um, there used to be this Magic the Gathering trading website.
Mm.
And when Bitcoin first started to become somewhat valuable, all right, people were actually storing their Bitcoin wallets on that Mount Goth website, which had no security. So it is the first big Bitcoin hack, theft that ever occurred. Is some nefarious individuals hacked into the Mt. Goth servers and stole everybody's Bitcoin, what would be worth billions of dollars now. Yeah. And so that was the first time that occurred. And that was and if you ever, talk crypto, with cryptos, you just mention Mt. Goth and they'll be like, oh, yeah, the first big heist.
Okay.
Yeah. And that was originally a Magic the Gathering site that had transitioned over to being basically like a bank holding site for crypto wallets.
See, nerds do all that. Like eBay used to be a Pez site,
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned the breaking into the stores, which has been a bad thing recently, last few years. Did you see in California this week where they caught a bunch of people doing that?
No.
So I'm pretty sure it was California. There was about 6 or 7 stores. Yep, my wife says California. Um, there were a number of stores that had all been getting broke into, and they were stealing good stuff. One of them was like a Lego minifig store, mostly comic shops. And they just go up and take the wall comics right off and just in bins. So what they didn't realize is the people that were stealing them weren't quite as educated as the people selling them, of course. So one of the employees just started looking for all the one of a kind comics, like the sketch covers and stuff online. So once he found somebody selling those particular one of a kind sketch covers, then he just tracked back to the people. Then he tracked back to see what those people were selling. Then he sent that information to any geek shop that he thought may have been like, oh, here they're selling minifigs. A Lego place got stolen. Let's send it and see if that's their shit. So they send it out, and out of the 2 guys doing it, they've already busted one, got him arrested. They haven't found the second guy yet, but they've already gotten a ton of like the comics and all the one of a kind things back. And it was just a comic book store manager that was just like, oh, I can track these items down. We do that all the time anyway for customers, and I thought that was pretty cool.
That is cool. That is cool that they're finding the bad people doing this and taking them on, because those stores, those comic book stores, I know from knowing Frank, Keith, and knowing Brian,
Mm-hmm.
they operate on very thin margins as it is, and they can't afford to have stuff like that happen. I mean, and I
Well,
don't know of any insurance company. I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, if those are graded and stuff like that, maybe the insurance company will cover it, but I don't
and
know.
it's hard because as the owner, you're usually the one doing your own grading, unless you send it in and get CGC'd. And yeah, you can have that stuff insured, but man, it is hit and miss. And if people keep breaking in and keep doing that shit,
Yeah, you
then
won't get
insurance
any
goes up. And
coverage.
the problem is there's some stuff that's just rare. It's one of a kind, or the idea that you have it in your store. It's not even that you want to sell it. It's I have a copy of, or
Yeah.
something like that. Or I have an original page out of a thing, and then it gets stolen and gone.
Well,
And I know we've seen a big influx of that over the years here in Wichita area for sure.
one thing that blows my mind is how much some things go up in value. Remember way back when I had gotten that Bluetooth communicator, Star Trek communicator?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I paid like 130 for that. Hey,
Oh, hey,
Rich,
real
getting
quick.
better. Sweet.
Rich is on. Everybody say hi, Rich.
Hi, Rich.
I heard you got out. I'm glad you did. Well, because the alternative would have sucked. But
Yeah, still being in there.
uh,
Um,
matter of fact, I almost called you on Sunday because we got together. I was going to see how you're feeling about maybe coming out to fair for smoker because we got some new things written for the smoker we wanted to try out, and we're going to see if you're going to be there. But I will just text you tomorrow, and we'll go from there. So your communicator you were talking about.
oh yeah, that I paid 130 for, and I went
Mm-hmm.
checking on eBay. Those things go for $500 plus now.
Yeah.
All right. And the original one that the one company came out with, which was a phaser TV remote, that one that goes for like $1,200 now.
See that?
And like who is it? Sean has one of those Tomy Star Trek Enterprise ships,
Yeah, I
and
saw that.
yeah, those now go for $2,000. Um,
This whole industry is full of that stuff, and it's one of the things that really pisses me off and makes me want to stop collecting sometimes. Like, for example, limited edition covers for comic books right now. The same thing that killed comics in the 90s. They'll say, oh, we're going to come out with 5 number 1s. The regular number 1, it'll be a regular issue, come out, everything's fine. But like this one that's done by, Todd McFarlane or whoever, uh, instantly, the minute it comes out, it goes from whatever $5 cover price to, $20 off the rack to as soon as people are looking for it. And all of a sudden it's $70 that day. Like
yeah,
just bam, bam, bam. And they're putting stuff out there, limited edition, all this shit, that, yeah, the price goes up immediately, but that doesn't mean that people are buying it at that price. You know what I mean?
yeah, I
I
know,
know.
and that's the thing is I look at the range of what people are asking for because I don't just think it's going to be the
Right.
highest one. No, that's what somebody puts out there hoping for the sucker that's born every minute. But I know it's bad enough. There is the wand company is coming out with a new prop that I'm going to be purchasing, and I've been on the waiting list for it since 23. All right, and it's going to be really really cool. And but the email that they just sent out, they said, okay, yeah, it's going to be coming out. We've got everything. It's blah 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 blah. Here, watch your emails. It's going to be coming soon. It's going to go out first to the people with a lower number on the reserves. Um, Please, when you go on an order, don't order more than two. And they said they said we were limited it, so every time you go in, you can only order two. But there's no way we can make it where you can't just back out and go back in and order another two. Please don't do that because people will do that shit.
Well, and I see that all the time. Kelly's on here. I know he's seen this too, where like at cons all the time, they'll have, like San Diego Comic Con will do a limited edition G.I. Joe toy or something that the first, 50 people get or whatever.
Yeah,
And so immediately those things, even though they're, let's say, $15, immediately they're $80 because
yeah,
everybody's trying to get their buddy to buy one or whatever. And I've been seeing that happen like with the popcorn buckets at theaters, all sorts of shit. With Star Wars and Mattel, though, it has bit them in the ass on that shit. A great example is Ghostbusters. Right now, some of the wands that were going for $150 just a few weeks ago, Mattel just did a big dump at all the ollies, and you can pick them up for $50 a piece now because they were just sitting in fucking warehouses waiting to be sold. And since Mattel's doing that big toy dump, all that stuff, so now all those that some people had like, oh, that's my $150 wand up there. It's $50 now, man.
yeah.
And we're buying them for the group for giveaways right now. Um,
A
and
fifty
like I say,
dollar giveaway? That's an expensive giveaway.
I'll say the Ghostbuster group. I shouldn't say like I have much to do with that because I haven't been. They've been getting like good donations, full size proton. They're giving away better proton packs than the one I own here at my house. To where like I kind of wish I wasn't part of the group to where I could maybe win the proton pack. But no, they're giving away some good shit. I'm kind of jealous. Um, we're going to be
Wow.
doing one this weekend too at Station 8 Barbecue.
We need
Not 100
to we need to
going to
talk
be.
after this so I can find out what you know about how they're getting those donations.
Oh, I can tell you some, but yeah, I hook you up with James and stuff too.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
I don't want to put their business out online. So
yeah. No, that's good. Um, oh, let's see. Rich says still day to day. I'm still off work, not released for that yet. Well, as long as you're healthy and alive, I guess.
well, healthier.
Healthier, healthier. I
Here's
just
my question for you, Rich. Did you take this opportunity that you were laid up to quit smoking?
that was going to be my thing. I pictured that poor hotel
Yeah.
hospital staff having to deal. I know what it's like going to a show with Rich and driving 5 hours, and sometimes you'll be like, you know what, we haven't pulled over for an hour or two, and then you'll look back and Rich is just like tense back there, trying to be a good boy, but
Yeah.
and I couldn't imagine him in a week in a hospital not being able to smoke.
Well,
But
see, and that was I was recounting to Jessica, when we found out that Rich got out, that That was one of the stupid moves that I did. Is when I went through boot camp, I 3 months no smoking, and the very first thing I did, they said dismissed. I about faced, walked my ass over to the little convenience store that was next to the parade deck and bought a pack of cigarettes. Stupid,
Yeah,
stupid, stupid.
I'd be curious if I'll just give Rich a call tomorrow or something because yeah. All right. Well, we've been on for an hour. All we did was talk. Somebody brought up Val Kilmer, and
That was a good
then
kickoff. That was very
he has
good.
a
I
good
think it
kickoff.
was Kelly or no, it was Katie.
Katie, was it Katie? Okay. So thanks for a good kickoff, Katie. Because I came in not having much to talk about. I was going to talk some about magic and shit, but uh, next week we'll have a little bit more. We'll coming
Oh,
up in a week. Oh, go ahead.
just really quick for any people that are into modeling, doesn't necessarily have to be like the ones I'm into, but cool thing, Walmart is starting to carry the round two models again, so you can get mostly cars, but they're throwing in a little bit of Star Wars and Star Trek in it as well.
Yeah.
So
I don't.
if you've been jonesing to find a place to get some models at, head to Walmart.
I was going to say I've been seeing some good ones at Ollie's too that I've been wanting to get, but
Ollie's, but that's the thing. Ollie's, they
they're hit
had
and miss.
them for a while. When Walmart dumped all their stock, I was going in there and getting some. But here recently, all of the Ollie's local has had is just been a couple like ships.
Last time I was in, they had a bunch of Hanna-Barbera ones, so I was kind of wanting to get, but
Oh, okay.
really the 3D printer kept me from getting them because I look at them, I'm like, that looks cool, or for $2 I can buy a print online and have an awesome one that I can
Or
customize.
you can take this opportunity while your printers are down to catch up on your backlog.
I have been trying, but even like I say, with me being sick for that last week and a half, I was so sick the idea of even painting or anything was it just wasn't.
Yeah.
I stared at this broken computer screen, knowing I can't fix my printer until I fix the computer. I was like, I could do that in 15 minutes. Fuck it, that's a lot of work. I mean, but and so I'll let you know, Kelly. I haven't printed a thing since on yours for 2 weeks now because my printers have been down. But as soon as they get back up, I do have it start gluing together. And man, the body alone, I think, is about yay long, and that's no legs, no nothing. I mean, it's the size of a large dog you're going to have in your house for sure.
Wow.
All
Alrighty, well, let's go ahead and tie this up. Let these people
right,
go. And once again, reminder: we have got Ren Fair coming up, not this weekend, but the next weekend.
correct.
We are going to be out there. I'm going to be slinging wine, and John's going to be doing his stuff.
We're going to have wine in the. I keep saying smoker in the Pirate Power Hour as well. Mikey Mason will be there in the Pirate Power Hour. We got a couple things we're going to try out for this one. But songs, jokes, all that shit. It should be a good time. And yeah, that's about it. Somebody buy us a slushy machine so we can make slushy wine.
Yeah, that's it. Sponsor us. Sponsor us with a
Sponsor us.
slushy machine.
Yeah, we'll name a slushy after you. How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one's called Rat Bastard.
Rat ass. All right, guys. Hugs and kisses. We'll see y'all next week.
Bye bye.